Okay, in one of my videos, we discussed the equation of a straight line. It was such an interesting topic where we considered a line, the distance between any point on the line, the equation that actually represents the line, many types of different types of names for different types of lines. But today we want to discuss something more interesting, and that is equation of a circle. Equation of a circle. So a circle can actually have an equation that represents it. So instead of carrying the circle to and fro, you can actually have a model. So it's actually called a mathematical model, an equation that represents or gives every information about that circle. So don't forget to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I have so many videos, you can always watch any of them, but subscribe and like. Okay, equation of a circle. First, we'll take the definition of a circle. So what is a circle? It is the locus of points, equidistant from a fixed point. A fixed point. What is that telling you? It shows that you're going to have so many points that are joined together. These are points. These are actually points, but I've joined them together to form what we have. This we call this a locus. So these points joined together are all equidistant from a fixed point. That means the distance from this point to this, the distance from this to this, the distance from this point to this, and so all this distance are constant. The distance here, the distance here, the distance they are all constant, they're the same. And they are called the radius. So the distance from this point to this point is called the radius, and it is constant. And this place, where we call the fixed point, is what we call the center of the circle. In a circle, one of the most important things in a circle is the center of the circle. The center of the circle actually describes the circle itself and even the position of the circle. So that is the center of the circle, which we are going to represent with a coordinate. Remember, I talked about the coordinate in one of my videos. So in coordinates, we're going to use the coordinate HK to represent this point. Since we have this in a two-dimensional axis, this is the Y, and this is the X axis, and this is the origin. But this is the center of the circle. And this point, which we call round point, is what we refer to as the circumference of the circle. The perimeter of the circle is actually called the circumference of the circle. You remember that in elementary math that the length of that is 2 pi r. But I'm not talking about the mensuration of the circle here. We are simply talking about the analytical geometry and coordinate geometry of a circle. So what we want to discuss is the equation of the circle. And how do we get that? We get that by, I'll have to draw another circle. Please permit me. Okay, so I have a circle. Okay, I fix it in a plane. Fixing it in a plane. This is the center of the circle. So I'm going to give the center a coordinate called H and K. H and K. And I'm going to pick any point. Let's call it an arbitrary point. Here, I call it X, Y, the arbitrary point on the circle. So, I'm going to join this point, and that will remember that is called the radius. So we have the radius of the circle. Now, see the beautiful thing that happens. Remember, this is the origin, and remember, this is just an arbitrary point, or just any point on the circle. Now, the most important thing is this. We want to find the distance between these 2 points. Remember, in one of my videos, I talked about the distance between 2 points. So if I call this x1 and y1, and I call this x2 and y2, I can use the formula r equals to the square root of x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. So if I substitute these values into this, I'm going to have r equals to My x2 in this case is this. So this is going to be x. And my x1 in this case is going to be h. So I have this squared plus my y2 in this case is going to be y. And my y1 in this case is going to be what? K. That's distance between 2 points. If I square both sides of this, the root sign is going to be eliminated, and I'm going to be having r squared equals to x minus h squared plus y minus k squared. Okay,